I'd say a portion of it is just having the skills required for the job, but then also just knowing the right person at the right time. And if you have those two things, it really helps with finding a career once you graduate. And by just being in more organizations, that can always really help out. And like even I'd say with like about half the jobs I've had has been from knowing the right person at the right time. Like I had the awesome opportunity of being on the Cleveland Browns drum line because I knew half of the people that were in the drum line, so I got to do that.
That's
and
awesome.
like it wasn't even that I was like an amazing percussionist. Like I was okay, but it's just because I knew the right people. But so yeah, like if you do have like an organization that's like focused on like the 3D industry, or even it's just like one that's just kind of fun, where it just has it's like a good group of people, I definitely highly recommend at least doing one, even if it's just like something that's once a month, just because. Well, one, it like kind of makes the college experience a lot more fun, but two, it can also really help out in the long run of things.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, because it's like it's it's funny because like what ends up happening with at least me is like I'm always so we have computer labs in my university that like we walk in. So yeah, like my friends, they would like see me in the lab, like, because I would go to the school super early at like 8 a.m. because I have like a 9 a.m. class or something. And yeah, like I'll be in there like at 8 a.m. just like doing some research or reading stuff, like articles about 3D. And then my friend would be like, man, you went to your like 1 hour-ish class, now you're back in the lab. And you've been sitting here since like the morning. So she's like, they'll be like, let's go outside, April. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's a thing. So yeah, so it's like I have like, like I have been pretty much like most of the time my communication is with the people that's in my major so far.
Yeah.
So yeah, but it's like the only time I'm like socializing with people that aren't in my major is because of a core academic class, and that's it. Yeah.
But that's like one thing I've kind of started to realize now that I'm a senior, I'm going to be graduating in December, is that like being in college is such a cool opportunity because it's like the only time, well, it's like it's not the only time because you obviously have high school, middle school, but it's like the last time where you're basically surrounded in a community of all of your peers and all of like your close friends. And so I guess like for me it's just I always want to try and find ways to kind of get the most of that before I kind of move on to the next step of my life and get into the job industry and working.
Yeah.
Cool, sweet.
Yeah.
Alright, so on to the next weird transition. So, you've been in college for about a year now. What's something that, like, you're looking forward to in, like, the next few years that you are really excited to do in college, or something you want to prepare for in college?
Well, so I went honestly with college, and so the funny thing is that at my university for the 3D major, is that they actually, so when I entered, they all of a sudden implemented that we had to go through a portfolio review in our freshman year. So that was a little stressful, but like but I was really happy because I passed, and so I'm now becoming a sophomore, and I'm really excited to kind of get more in depth with with maybe the workflow for like rigging a character, or learn more actually about substance design, or from someone that was like for someone that's like in the industry. I'm overall excited for the new classes I have to take, and I only have to take one core class this semester, so I'm like, okay, cool. Nothing that would get in the way too much, but
yeah. So
I actually, what I'm preparing for is honestly a convention that I really want to go to, which is like that GDC one. So so I'm hoping that like over this, like my fall, I will show my portfolio again. Even though I went through the portfolio review, I will like show my professors my portfolio again, and hopefully I can get it really refined before going to GDC. Since that's a really big event, for the industry, and I'm just kind of like, basically it's like I'm preparing my portfolio is the main thing.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, because...
So, yeah, sorry.
Oh, well, basically it's like, over the summer, since I know my classes, each month is dedicated to at least learning the foundations, like not mastering them, but just learning the foundations of what's to be expected in class, just so when I do get to class, it's not such a harsh learning curve, because I was like, as I said before, in high school, when I first did 3D, it didn't go well. So so it's basically like, I'm gonna make all the... basically, it's like, I'm making all the mistakes and all the bad things now, so when I'm in class, it's not such a, like, big learning curve, and I'm like, oh, what's happening? So,
right. Cool. So, over the last year, is there anything that you would have wanted to do differently?
That's kind of... It's always been such a hard thing for me to, like, answer, I guess, because...
Yeah.
You know, like, my first year went surprisingly well, then I'm just kind of like...
Oh, so never mind that.
Yeah, because it's like... So I'm just kind of like, oh, man, I don't know, but... I mean, I guess I will say I was a bit shy at first when it came to talking to, like, professors or people, because because in my high school I was so used to working, like, kind of doing, like, behind the scenes. So, like, let's say something was broken, I would fix it, but no one would know who would fix it, and then I wouldn't say anything. I would just be like, yeah, it works now, and so yeah, I was just always extremely shy. But now in, you know, college, I have been, you know, like, I've been trying to, like, be a little less shy and, like, just, like, socializing, going, like, yeah, you know, like, how are you? And, you know, like, being in the same community, you know, that also, like, you know what I mean? Like, being in 3D with the same people that love doing 3D, it's definitely helped with me, like, overcoming that challenge, I guess, of, like,
definitely.
Yeah, like, I was shy, but now I'm like, oh, okay, like, I'm with my people.
yeah, definitely.
So, yeah.
So, coming up, you're gonna have internships. Is there any internships that you're kind of looking towards in the future that you want to apply for? Sorry. Hello? You still there? Oh, sorry. Oh. Okay. You're good.
Oh, okay. Sorry, it went, yeah, like, totally went silent. So I was like, oh, I think it's acting up.
Okay.
Yeah. I think it's...
Everything's functioning properly now, though?
Yeah, everything's good.
Cool.
Okay, phew. Okay, was there, were you saying something? And then I was, like, totally out?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
You're good. So, coming up in the future, you're gonna have internships to look forward to. Is there any internships that you're kind of looking towards, or any company that you want to work for? Like, for internships, at least?
Well, it's funny, because the one that always comes to my mind, because I know they do it a lot, is Blizzard. They have, like, internships, and that's kind of been the one I've been looking at the most, because even though those stylized, I was like, wow, I really like their games. But most of the time, I'm just kind of, at the moment, just, like, I'm honestly just willing to apply for them, just to get that experience in, because like the big companies I follow, they're not doing internships, you know, they're like, no, we're looking for people to hire to work on this big game, and I'm like,
yeah.
I'm like, it's like, nope, can't do that.
Yeah.
And yeah, like, I've seen, like, I know Disney does them, I know Pixar does them, But I'm just kind of seeing, like, hopefully, like, one, like, I'm basically willing to apply for them, but I'm obviously going to have my professors that will, like, look at my friends, like, really anyone that can look at my portfolio, like, look at that first before I even submit or send it off. Because, again, it's, like, it's always good to have that revision and be like, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. The one thing I'm a little paranoid about is, so I graduated in 2019, so I don't really have any internship experience in, like, the 3D industry, and I know some companies, they'll wait, like, a year after you graduate, but then after that, they have some, they're not jobs, I forgot what they're called, but it's where you, not foreshadowing, but it's, like, basically where you kind of hover over someone and watch them, like, how they work, and then like it's shadowing.
Yeah, it's
you can, like, shadow for a little bit. So I guess, like, with me, I'm getting a little paranoid about that, but I'm just hoping if I don't get an internship, if I just really bust my butt off, I can hopefully get somewhere. And, like, honestly, I'm not really expecting too much, even, like, if I do work my butt off, because I've only been at it for a year, and there's other people that have been doing it for, like, a good 4 years, so for me, I'm just trying to stay persistent and keep at it for, like, a good 2 to 4 years, and if nothing comes out of it, then, hey, I had fun doing it. But really, just, like, really, I'm just, like, basically what I've decided is, like, if I just stay persistent for at least 4 years and nothing comes out of it, like, because you also have to know, like, when to kind of, like, give up, and for me, like, this is kind of getting dark, but
I know. I was like, whoa.
Because, like, you know, some things, like, you're not meant to do things, you know, and so for me, that's basically what I want to focus my 20s, so, like, up until I turn 30, that's, like, okay, I just need to get a job, work, enjoy life, but until then, I really just want to go hit the wall running and just give it my all, and because it's your 20s, that's, like, your time to do risks, because you don't have a family you have to take care of. You don't really have to get, like, a nice job. Like, you can live off of ramen noodles, and I'm perfectly fine with doing that. So that's kind of, like, my game plan, is just going hard for the next 8 years and hoping something happens, and if it doesn't, then that's fine too, you know? It's a good run, but
oh my god!
hopefully something happens.
It's got so dark so fast. Yeah. Well.
But yeah. So.
Well,
I always like to have high hopes and keep on hoping something awesome will happen and make the most of it. But yeah.
Yeah. Well, because it's, like, usually, again, you know, like I know I can, you know, I get from, like, what you're saying of, like, you know, like, it can only go on for so long, but at the same time, everyone is learning this, you know, everyone's learning this type of thing at a different age and at a different time. Like,
yeah.
Like, again, like, the example for my hard surface teacher, he actually did a lot more of, like, not volunteer, but, like, basically, like, he would, you know, like, yeah, he would, like, work with other people that were trying to, like, make, like, a fan-made game, or, like, you know what I mean, like, he would just, like, it'd be, like, small projects that he would likely be able to work on with, and, you know, it's, like, it started to, basically, like, hard work, if you truly stay dedicated to it, and you keep going at it, like, you know, your skills will grow, and then if you get the help and, you know, the advice you need, it will pay off in the end. It's just, like, yeah, like, it really is just something, like, because it's, like, hard work, you know, it always pays off, but it may not pay off immediately, you know, it may not pay off as soon as one may want it, but it will, in some shape or form. But another thing is that, so sometimes, like, so this was, like, actually kind of a good advice from my professor, like, one of my game engines professor. He said, like, sometimes, like, even though, like, you may love video games and you want to, like, work in that industry, there's always, like, other paths you can take to get in that industry. So, for example, like, if someone knows how to do graphic design, it doesn't exactly mean, you know what I mean, like, it doesn't mean you're, like, stuck going, like, okay, I only make graphics for this company. It's like, no, you can end up making a graphic for, like, you know, this game, or, like, someone that can, like, for example, a really big one is coding. and coding is probably the most. Honestly, coding probably has the most job openings for the game industry, for like the 3D industry, like modeling or animation. So it's like, you know, like there's always like a workaround basically to maybe like, oh, there's always another path to something that you want to do. Like, you know what I mean? If that makes sense.
Yeah. I feel like coding is the ultimate thing to...
Oh, sorry, go on.
Sorry. Okay. I just feel like coding, it's like, it takes over every industry. Like, I wasn't expecting it to be in the CGI industry, and it is. It's apparently in my friend who's studying to be a math teacher. He needs to know how to do coding. My friends who are in health administration, they gotta know how to do coding. It's just like this general thing that's like taking over. And I feel like if you can master it, then you just can do anything.
I mean, that's honestly the truth with, like, from at least from what I was taught. It's like that does kind of hold the truth of like, yeah, if you know how to code and you master those like the concepts, you can really take it to anywhere. And you know, like companies will maybe have like a specific like language of code that they would like, but I mean, yeah, it's like you can always like there's always those base concepts. You just have to again maybe relearn the terminology between switching like through several codes. Now I can't say that's for sure true because I've only practiced with what is it? My mind says C#. I hope that's right. Because that'd be very awkward if it was not C# that I learned. Anyways, I feel bad because my professor was really, really good at teaching code.
Wait, did you say Maya?
No, I said C#. I was just saying, like, I would feel bad if I got that wrong because my professor was really, really good at teaching code. I was just not that great of a coding student.
Yeah. Because I know Maya is Python.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then...
Okay, sorry, I thought you said Maya.
Oh, no. Yeah, but actually, that's actually what I'm learning this upcoming semester. Well, for my upcoming sophomore year. It's like, yes, we'll be learning Python in Maya, and I'm like, oh goodness.
Here we go.
Yeah, I was like, oh, more coding things. Good to know. Keeping that in mind.
Yeah. So this is a kind of side topic, but so I recently discovered you can get like certifications for software, and so I was like, ooh.
Yeah.
The one I saw was like you can get some for Adobe, but the one I was looking into was they have one as you can get one for a user for Maya and one for a professional certification for Maya. And so I got the practice test, and I was initially just going to get the main user one because I didn't want to get the professional one because I was like, I'm not a professional. I accidentally got the professional Maya one. I was like, okay, this is... And so, like, I emailed them, and then I just started taking it. I was like, you know what, this actually isn't all that bad. And, I don't know, is this something that your professor talked about with, like, getting a certification for Maya? Because, it'll look really good on your resume. The only thing it really said that had a perk to, though, is it adds you into a database where, like, professionals can add you, but I don't know how frequently that database gets used. But, I don't know, it's like a $200 test, or no, it's like $150, $130, which, you know, it's a few dollars, but I was thinking about taking it. I was just like, I mean, considering like how much college can be, it's not too bad. But the only thing that was kind of annoying is, like, when I was taking the practice test, there were some, like, errors in it where it would say round to the nearest hundredth and it was thousandth, and so because I didn't round, because it would be off, and, like, I would get the question wrong. I was like, but I need to round to the hundredth, not the thousandth. And basically it was just miscommunication. And then there's just like a couple other ones where I would put in the right answer, but it would say I was wrong. And then when I would say what I need to do differently, it would say it was the same. I was like, okay, well, it's right then. And so I'm just like, I'm not paranoid about taking the test because I don't want to take it, end up getting it right, and then having questions that are right be wrong. So then I email, I'm going on such a rant right now.
It's okay.
So I emailed the Autodesk and I was like, yo, what's up? And they're like, okay, yeah, we're going to send it to the people that created the test, and they're going to take a look at it. And 2 weeks later, they still haven't gotten back to me. So I'm like, waiting to get those responses back to see, because I don't want to end up spending $150 and then, like, not passing it because of, like, some questions being marked wrong for not being wrong. But going back to the main question, is that something your professors have kind of brought up with just like taking those certification or tests?
So honestly, not really actually, but I do have a friend that's in my major, and her high school did also have like, I don't know if it was like a magnet program, like I don't know if it was classified as that for her, but yeah, like she did take a certification test for, you know, certain programs like that, but I personally never took one when I was in high school. I just kind of learned it. And then yeah, so I don't know if they would reference it, because again, it's like you know, they'll look at your portfolio and then that would demonstrate, you know, like if you know it or not. But I mean, like, I guess, I mean, it doesn't hurt to have it, you know, like it's like, you know, someone may look at that and be like, oh, that's actually pretty neat. But again, it's like your portfolio, like, you know, like what the work you present is what will speak probably the most, because again, like they will look at portfolio first and then probably your resume. But yeah, I personally can't.
Like, I'm sure it would help.
For me personally, I can't say too much.
I'm not sure.
Like, I don't know.
I wasn't sure.
I actually did not know you could get certified until I met my friend in college. She's like, "Yeah, I got certified for Maya." I was like, "What?"
Yeah.
It's like certification.
Sounds fancy, you know. Like I can call myself a certified professional. It's kind of like,
I mean, if you
so I think I might do it just.
If you already spent no money on it, then you might as well go for it.
Start bragging, like whenever, because I too need to. I haven't been to any conventions yet, and the big one I want to go to is SIGGRAPH. So I was gonna wait until I have a little more under my belt, so probably next year maybe. And so that'd be like a good conversation opener. Just be like, "Yeah, I'm a professional, certified Maya user. Nice to meet you."
Yeah, but again, they'll probably be like, "Okay, let me look at your portfolio."
And then just like walk the other way.
No. Yeah, but yeah, it's just like, you know, like, yeah, like, from what I've been learning or for what I've been experiencing, you know, it's like they look at, you know, like what I can do, and they're like, "Oh, okay, like, okay, you can do this, you can do that, awesome." Because my organic modeling teacher, he put it as like, so let's say if it was like a internship, or for example for me it was my portfolio review, he said like, you know, what they're looking for is a spark, like a little thing to be like, oh yeah, like I can tell, like, because usually when they're looking, they can tell if you're good, like, if you're, for example, my portfolio review, in that case it was like they saw a spark that they were like, yes, she can go on and keep learning, because we can tell like she's really dedicated to it. And it's kind of like, I guess you can say like the same boat for like an internship. They'll look at it and be like, okay, you have like the foundations, or you have this skill set, and we can tell that like, you know, you know what I mean, like they can see, they will weigh like what's important to them, I guess you can say, and be like, yes, you can, like, you know, like, yes, we will nominate them for that internship and all that jazz. So yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, because yeah, but that certification thing always makes me go like, I didn't know that. What? I was like, what?
Yeah. Yeah, so I have the money to spend, so I was probably gonna get it sometime by the end of the summer. Just waiting on them to email me back.
I know.
But yeah. Yeah. Cool. So, I think that's basically all I got for the interview portion of the podcast. Is there, like, anything else you wanted to throw out? Just, like, any advice or anything?
I guess my... well, if I was to give advice, it's, like, if, you know, like, you should always... Well, let's do, like, I'll do, like, a college, like, in general, college one, because since, you know, we're in college right now. The important thing is, like, when you're in your classes, make sure that the major you're going for is something you're truly passionate and happy about, because, you know, by the end of the day, you are going to spend a lot of money, so make sure you are in the correct major, you know, make sure you really love it. And yeah, but for 3D, so I can't, you know, like, basically for me, for 3D, it's like, as someone like me that's still new and still learning, it's like, maybe just practice every day, like, just open Maya, open Substance Panel, whatever program you're feeling, and just practice it for a little bit. Try to learn something new about it each day, because in the end, the industry, they, like, even though like good quality work is like very important in the industry, what's also important though is your efficiency, because time is money. So like